What we're going to do is actually relieve this area, try and put a little bit of airspace between the floor and the exhaust. This car is way too small for all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome to drybonesgarage. This episode's part of a series where my dad and I take a 63 Corvair and turn it into a hot rod. In this video, Dad puts in the exhaust system, so I hope you all enjoy it.
Okay, kiddo, we're going to have to modify this floor. We can do this, but that's going to be a fire starter. We're going to be right up against the floor, right out of the engine.
I don't want to start a fire in the car. Alright, what's up?
We're laying out the exhaust here, and the floor is sitting about an inch lower than it normally would if this were actually a G-body.
Yeah.
In relation to the frame, because we removed all of the pucks or body bushings and literally bolted this metal to metal for a couple different reasons. One, spatial. The other, just to kind of use the body of the car to stiffen the frame and try and make it a little bit more unibody-esque.
Yeah.
One of the issues we're running into here, though, granted, for the most part, this is an entirely fabricated floor over here, is we're literally interfering with the exhaust. So rather than modify the exhaust or cut the fenders up, what we're going to do is actually relieve this area, try and put a little bit of airspace between the floor and the exhaust, which I think is the long-term smarter, safer bet. And then we'll just finish what we're doing. Trucking along.
How's that?
How's that? Oh yeah, you've almost got an exhaust. We just have this issue to deal with. We are missing somewheres, because these only come in even numbers. Too big a pot. Yeah, I don't want to do this, but it needs to be done. I think if we just cut, like right along here, we can draw this whole area out and just massage this out, do a little bit of shaping, and then just trim the fat, and then weld that seam shut, I think is what all we'll need to do.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a shot, see what happens here. That should actually kind of flatten the floor out a little bit, so you don't have so much of this. You know, this will kind of roll out a little bit. You may even want to come back a little bit farther with that. I'm going to look at it from beneath. But I think that's what we're going to want to do. And that should give us everything we need to clear the exhaust comfortably. That'll do it. That'll do, pig. Oh, I think I just dipped. Yeah, that ain't right. What the heck did I just do? I mean, we can fix this, but I don't know what I was looking at when I marked this for cutting. I need to get a level on it, but it's not terribly out of whack right now. I haven't. This is all just kind of snug together. Nothing's actually reefed down in its final resting place, but it's all locked up pretty close. So, I mean, all the pieces are where they need to be. It's just a matter of getting a level on them and, you know, man, I could have just cut an inch off of that and left this pig alone. Now I've got to cut this down and use this and make things work. Or I need to weld pieces together. And I really don't want to burn the Trimex for this. I mean, we can, but I think I'm pretty light on that stuff. I'd like to save it for, you know, something that's aesthetic.
Yeah.
Versus, okay, we're just slamming this together to make it work. This tank was in the Malibu. This one's in good shape. It's used, but it's a good one. Now, I think I already told you that the sending unit in this tank, fuel gauge sender,
Yeah.
I need for the Malibu. I've got you a whole new factory, the whole 9 yards right here that needs to go in that thing. And this one will make your gauge read right. That one will make my gauge read right. Okay, but never the twain shall meet. So that still needs to get swapped out. The other issue is, in this car, we've had to relocate where the tank sets. But if you look, here's your mount for the tank, right?
Still sounds like there's stuff in there.
Yep, there's still gas in there. We're gonna have to get rid of that.
How are we gonna do that?
You know, there's a thing called a triple rinse. Before we accept anything at work like this,
Yeah.
any kind of contained unit needs to be triple rinsed before it's turned in. We're going to have to do that before we do anything else, because we're going to end up cutting and welding this probably, or we're going to end up reconfiguring this exhaust, which is why everything is loose. This is the decision we have to make. Okay, if you look here and here, you see this?
Yeah.
These little indentations. Well, we have an issue here where these ride right on these. And if you look here, on both sides, the tank is going to interfere, or the exhaust is going to interfere with the tank right up to probably about here on both sides. So we're going to have to actually bring these in, cut these corners out, and then plate them if we're going to use this tank. Or we need to cut the exhaust, or we need to look at a different tank altogether. And maybe go with a fuel cell or something. I don't know. I haven't looked at one necessarily, how they're plumbed, how they're mounted. If we can literally hang one off of what we have back here and then have it feed through the filler relief that we made. But this is something that we need to talk about, and we need to make a decision on this, how we're going to proceed with this. So
I'm fine with cutting the tank.
okay.
If that's safe.
Yeah, you have to be blazing careful and blazing thorough about cleaning one out. So we'll have to do that before it starts getting cold. Get it fully rinsed, triple rinsed is what they call it. Fully purged, and then let it dry out. Once it's been purged and it's dry, it should be safe. It's already been rinsed, it's already been ventilated. So if we do show that on camera, all the do's are done, it'll be safe. And we gotta figure out where to cut these, probably right at this. Cut them, that is just outside out of the car.
How far are they supposed to go?
Eh?
Is there like a legal requirement?
By law, they have to be out from underneath the car. They have to protrude. They can be dead flush, but they have to be at least even with the outside of the car.
I like that.
So we'll cut these where they're, you're already, I mean, this is, we could even cut them back right here.
Yeah.
We could cut them right here if you want, and then just have them kind of venting a little bit farther to the rear than they are on the Malibu. The Malibu, they're kind of coming down and out. These will be just coming straight out at an angle, but, you know, pretty much level. This might be the better place to cut them.
Why did they make that law?
Make the law?
Yeah, for the exhaust.
If the exhaust is venting underneath the car and you're stationary,
Is there a possibility of
carbon monoxide poisoning, yeah.
Oh.
It'll penetrate through any orifice or opening in the body. You know, you're just basically sitting on a bubble of poison gas.
Oh.
But yeah, okay, we'll cut this here. We'll get this purged and cleaned, and we'll start making modifications. That said, we're going to be doing what today? Putting the exhaust back together again, cutting it, hanging it, basically finishing it out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you want to do this? Did you put any thought into it, or I know when I was looking at it, I developed half a plan. Have you looked at it? Do you have any thoughts on it?
Not beyond where to cut it.
Where are you thinking? I'm thinking right here.
I feel
Let
like
it blow kind of out the sides.
we had this discussion before on camera.
Are you in agreement, or do you still want it coming out the back? I gave you my reason. Does it make sense to you?
Can you explain it again?
If we cut it back here and you back into a slot
Oh,
and get deep into the curb or something, if these are cut square to that curb and it hits the curb, what's going to happen?
the gas is gonna be
That
dragged.
exhaust is going to get
Pushed.
jammed forward into the car.
Okay.
You know, you could potentially cause some damage. If this is cut back here at an angle, they might, rather than push or bend somewheres in the middle, just ride up over the curb. Might.
Okay.
But we're going to be anchoring these pretty rigid back here probably today. So more likely what'll happen is they'll deflect or push up versus push forward.
Okay then.
Okay. You don't want to do that, period, but if it happens, you know, I think the ideal outcome is it pushes up rather than starts bending or breaking stuff under the car. So that's my reasoning for wanting to cut them at an angle. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right. That's the way we'll move with it.
Do I put it under the differential?
Yep.
Wait, let the Lucy really tidy. Like this?
Looks like it.
How high does it need to be?
Well, you need to be able to get those stands out from underneath the axles and put them under the frame. So all you got to do is get the car or the weight off of the axle, because we need that axle to droop. But move one stand at a time, because I'm under this thing, right?
Am I doing anything, or is it just really slowly rising?
I don't know, you may not be tight enough.
The handle's turned all the way to the right.
Okay, before we take anything and make decisions we might regret
Yeah.
in the not too distant future, let's take a quick measurement. I think we can take upwards of 2 inches off of these things, and that should improve our clearance overall. That puts the peak of these arcs almost directly over. That should be perfect. Okay, so we'll take these out. We'll take 2 inches off the nose of them, both of them. At that point in time, we could just cut these right here too while they're out. It'd be easiest to do it when they're off the car.
Yeah.
We'll do that, then we'll put them back in, and then we'll kind of manipulate them into where we want them. Set the anchors, and then from there we can start farting around with the gas tank. But I am not in a position where I want to do that yet. I've got 16 gauge. I've got sheet metal, 20 gauge all over the place. I want 18 gauge at least on that tank, and I think 16 gauge is too heavy. We have to get the 18 gauge. I don't want to start cutting until I've got what we need. So we'll stop here and then move back to the
Wiring?
yeah. I don't have any hard set plan for your fuel system yet. I don't know if we want to get that aluminum line, if we want to run braided Kevlar, you know, get one of those Evil Energy kits for this thing. I bought an Evil Energy kit, but I think it's going to be too short. I don't know why, but that was the original plan. I don't know we're going to stick to that. We'll have to see how we transition from the tank forward. I've got the original G-body, I don't know if you want to call it a manifold or what, but the fuel and return lines that we can plug right into the tank. I think they might still fit under the car, but we'll have to see how that all lines out. I want to actually get the tank where we can fit it in here reliably and comfortably, repeatably, and then we'll start looking at how we're going to plumb it from there forward. So other than that, the car's plumbed. We got the brakes in. We just need to figure out what we're doing with this. We're comfortable with what we've got from here to the headers. So yeah, we'll trim these back and see what we've got to do from there. This is just sitting in here now. Ooh. I think we're gonna have to drop the shocks. Just slow.
Like little.
Just bring it slow. I don't know how far that axle's gonna want to drop.
I feel it wanting to push the jack backwards.
We want that. Otherwise we'd be dragging the car off the stands. Oh. Well. If you're gonna be that way about it. Okay, I see what's going on here. We're gonna have to let the exhaust drop a little bit. Wow!
What?
This car is way too small for all of this. I mean, I knew it was a bit of a cartoon, but holy crap. We literally have to take the hangers out of this thing. All right.
If you'd like to see the future of this build, please make sure to click the thumbs up button and subscribe. We also have a Facebook account if you'd like to reach us there.
Okay, jack up that corner. Just a little bit, like an inch or so. Yeah, let's flex this thing. How did we get these in here? I don't remember this being a problem. We're not picking the car up off the frame, are we? Okay, keep going. A little bit. Yeah, stop. Car's off the stand now. Oh, we're so close. These sewer pipes. Okay, I think we're gonna have to cut this puppy right where it sits. If we cut this, we'll have a little bit more room to maneuver over here. Because right now it's catching on the back of the car. I don't know why. How on earth did we get this thing together? I mean, seriously. What did we do right? And what are we doing wrong? Now this may or may not do the job, but I think last time we tried using this, it chewed the snot out of the blade, so we might get one cut, we might not get any cuts. We may have to go to cutoff wheels, but I'm going to try it with this first. Okay, one out. It's not really well supported, but this doesn't really load it a whole lot, so I think we'll be okay. We'll find out. That was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
This thing is already ridiculous overkill, but it doesn't hurt to do it just to do it.
The chimpanzee's back.
Say what?
The chimpanzee's back. That sounds like a chimpanzee screaming.
You ever heard a chimp getting ticked off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. The crabby monkey?
Yeah. Why'd you bring it back, Dad? You should have kept it in a cage.
Oh yeah, that goes in a lot easier now. Where's the other one? That ain't good.
What's wrong?
We gotta fix this brace. This brace is literally broken free from the frame.
Oh.
If we do something like that, I wonder if I got some rift nuts we could put in there. Because we're not getting back in there with a nut. Those aren't going to be hanging dead flat down, but that is pretty close to even. Okay, that actually should be enough if I can actually line it out where I can see.
That's about it, everyone. I hope you liked the video. Stay warm and hydrated, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
We need to chop these down
That's what
so
I
I
just
can
said.
walk.
Yeah, that's what I said. Your mom was crabby about them too the other day she come in. Those are ridiculous. I'm like, they're temporary.
Yeah.
Don't kill the messenger.